Hey, what's up? Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Happy Thursday. No, Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, July 19th. So we're about to go halfway through the week, and we got some earnings that are coming out. We'll talk about a few different things here. This most recent, just aggressive market rally, maybe the most hated rally by a lot of people. Funny how a lot of people on the downside were losing money trying to buy. Now, a lot of people on the upside are losing money trying to short this thing, when in reality, we've flipped into a buy the dip scenario for investors, which is one of the main things that I do want to talk about. Not too much to talk about today, but retail investors. Let me just look at one thing here. Uh, da, 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 da. So retail investors are finally, according to Schwab CEO, right? Charles Schwab, ticker symbol SCHW, are finally turning bullish. These retail investors are finally turning bullish. So as investor optimism returns to the stock market, the brokerage's clients have been adding equity exposure over the past few months. So the volume of buy orders is coming in at 20% higher than sell orders in Q2. And meanwhile, Schwab's earnings topped estimates, pushing its stock 13% higher on Tuesday as it added 1 million new brokerage accounts. Other rivals in the industry like E-Trade from Morgan Stanley, Merrill Edge from Bank of America, and Interactive Brokers are also reporting numbers during the same session. So we'll see how that does shape up, but I'd like to see that a lot more people are turning on the bullish leaf. It seems that they're finally catching wind of it, and obviously retail is obviously late to the party. It's not going to find the absolute bottoms, but it seems like we're in the buy the dip equity market right now. Mortgage rates also in the U.S. High mortgage rates are keeping U.S. homeowners on the sidelines. The home turnover rate in the first half of 2023 dropped to its lowest level in at least a decade, according to real estate brokerage Redfin. About 14 out of every 1,000 U.S. homes changed hands during the first 6 months of the year, down from about 19 in the same period in 2019 before the pandemic. So, in order to change the dynamics, Redfin's Taylor Marr said mortgage rates had to drop 5%, which would help free up some inventory and bring monthly payments down. So dropping a 5% right there, what, 7, 8% right now on the 30 years? I'm not 100% sure, but something like that. A very, very significant drop, right? Cutting it in half pretty much. And more, actually, dropping what, like 60%. Other factors that could boost the turnover include building more housing, zoning reforms, and subsidizing via tax breaks. So, in terms of Tesla, we have Tesla earnings that are coming out after the bell. The last time Tesla whiffed on earnings, I believe, was 2021. Other than that, beating expectations across the board and doing pretty well, pushing to the upside. So Tesla has been rallying pretty aggressively so far. It's nearing that $300 mark. If we trade into that $300 mark today, right, where does that leave us for after the bell? It's going to be an interesting, very, very interesting earnings report, right? I'm trying to load up what the earnings expectations are here, but it's really lagging, and I think the camera's even lagging from that. Um, Let me see what some of these earnings expectations are here for Tesla. Fairly unprepared, it seems. And we'll go over the S&P 500 trading plan for the day. Realistically, we have to switch structure based on distributions and order flow in order for price to actually turn around in the S&P. Otherwise, there's very little hope for any of these bears to come in. Trying to call tops in this market right now is, I'd say, fairly impossible. Unless you try it multiple times. But realistically, in this market right now, there is some kind of expected pullback. It's most likely going to get bid back up, but trying to call a top in the market is, I'd say, suicidal. I tried it once or twice, but nothing really came out of it. Mismanaged one of the shorts, then took a loss on the other short. So, all in all, just looking for some kind of structural shift if I'm going to short this market, but leaning a little more to the upside. Tesla to announce second quarter earnings today after the bell. Investors are going to be listening for a more detailed breakdown of Cybertruck news, right? Price cut effects, so on and so forth. So, wow, if this could load, that'd be great. trying to see what some of the figures are and what some of the expectations are for Tesla on the earnings report. Nothing's really loading here just when I need it to load. Where's my phone? Let's see if it'll load faster on this. Unfortunately, I don't have them memorized. So let us see what kind of information we get here. Blah, blah, blah. So investors are probably going to be listening out for a much more detailed breakdown of the Cybertruck and how those price cuts, like I was saying, are going to affect the automotive gross margins. The Wall Street estimates for Tesla will bring in about 24.9 billion or 25 billion dollars in revenue for the quarter, which is nearly 50% higher than a year ago. Sales of 17 billion dollars. The stock has shot up about 170% since the start of the year, and it closed Monday afternoon at about 290-ish. It closed yesterday afternoon at about like 294-ish, something like that. There's not too much that we know about the Cybertruck. Over the weekend, Tesla tweeted that it had finally gotten its first Cybertruck off the production line at its Giga Austin factory. News that caused equal parts fanfare and skepticism. The skepticism is because Tesla shared no other details about this Cybertruck. Remember, the futuristic angular kind of interesting truck was announced in 2019 with production expected deliveries in 2021. It repeatedly pushed back, citing component storage, and finally the first one comes off the rack. At the annual shareholder meeting in price cuts along in Europe, US, and China. So we'll see how that does shape up. The price cuts, as well as the US federal EV tax credits, have appeared to boost Tesla's sales in the last 2 quarters. In Q2, Tesla hit a record production and delivery of 479,999 units and 466,000 and 144 and 140 units respectively. So these are in the last 2 quarters. That's up 10% quarter over quarter and 83% year over year. So we'll see how this comes out, and it's going to be very interesting to watch the Tesla earnings. We have some longs in Tesla, actually, with the expectation that we move above $300 on this into the earnings period. We've been long for a few days only now since last week, and I think that those price expectations and those net margins might actually exceed what we have on the calendar here for the Tesla earnings report. So again, like I said, we have to break down what is going on in the market. Very, very strong bullish movement here. And it's going to be very difficult on the S&P 500 futures to actually get that downward move. The distribution block to the downside would cause prices to actually go bearish under 45 like 64. So 45.64, we have to re-offer under that area if there's going to be any kind of pullback. Right now, dips could be bought into 83. Dips could be bought into 70, right, on the S&P 100 futures. Those are 2 key levels that you might want to note. But as it stands, 4,600, 4605, 10 into that area can easily be tested today. And we need to see a downward shift under that 45.64. Like Paul said, seasonal selling does start. It should top out theoretically on OPEX, the July OPEX, which is towards the end of the month, which is on Friday, right? That should be a topping area where we should see sell in the following week. Usually, and today we have Vixpiration. Usually, the combination of those two events opens some kind of ceiling and sideways rotation into some downside in the following weeks. So again, we can explore a little more of the upside, but we're getting into that area where we should theoretically start selling. But I want to see a structural shift in the S&P 500 futures for us to sell, and that's going to be under 45.64-ish or so. So with that being said, we're going to open up our live trading room here. We're going to keep an eye out on earnings, obviously, as tech earnings are starting pretty much this week and are going to continue into the following weeks. And we'll break down what we have, trade ideas and everything. So come on and check us out at tradeproacademy.com, where we do offer a free futures course for you guys to check out. So let's jump right into this. I'll see you guys in the live trading room, and we'll do this again tomorrow and wrap up this week. So thank you and take care, everyone.